Hi there, Dancing Roach here. I haven't uploaded a damn thing to my YouTube channel since May, basically 3 months. Now in the algorithm's eyes, that signals a dead channel. With that, I'm not expecting this to perform as well with my subscribers. Not that it really matters that much to me, I don't give that much of a shit about my analytics. So much change has happened lately, both positive and negative. It's been 2 months since I graduated high school, and I've been waiting for what comes next. That's resulted in some uncertainty as to what will happen in the next few months for me. I'm trying to stay positive on that end. You know what I won't be positive about? It being commentary time again. So, Netflix and Nickelodeon just released a Rocko's Modern Life special titled Static Cling. Now I love Rocko, so this got me hyped back when it was announced 2 years ago. The uncertainty of its release was worrying, and a few felt that it wouldn't see the light of day. That was until it was announced Netflix would be releasing it for their service in August. Just before the special even released, it was leaked that the disowned son of the Big Heads, Ralph, was revealed to have transitioned into Rachel Bighead. This bit of trans representation had help from the activist group GLAAD to make sure it worked. This, unsurprisingly, got on the nerves of a vocal amount of transphobes and the standard right-wing reactionaries. The video we're responding to for today is by a user named Salty Cracker, one of the most accurate usernames of all time. Very sensationalist right-wing political content which solely exists to reaffirm these people's beliefs. Admittedly, his Biden video wasn't too awful, but it still suffers with the same problems many NPC political channels do. This guy doesn't have much substance to his content, and you could hear those exact same talking points from other random far-right shills. At the very least, he isn't as unbearable as no bullshit. Though I do mention that his video on the topic is actually better than this one, surprisingly. Wow. The problem I have with politics is that normally I don't delve myself too deep into some of the really serious topics. Reserve that for the more educated. That's why I picked this reaction to the Rocko special. It's on a topic I'm much more familiar with. Now because of this story's release date, I will not be bringing up reactions to Static Cling as it wasn't viewable at the time. And for the record, I have yet to see the special either because I lack Netflix. So I don't have a real opinion on the film, nor can I exactly prove some of the pre-movie claims false. I should also take note of his disclaimer. These are the ramblings of a lunatic. They are probably wrong, and you listen at your own risk. Well, at least he's honest. Here goes.
Alright, so the madness continues. They're going to do an entire transgender arc in the upcoming Rocko's Modern Life special. So, I mean, is there anybody out there asking for this? Where's the big demand for jamming a transgender character into old 90s cartoons?
I could care less if the staff or the company wants to add more diverse characters to an older property. As long as it works as a natural progression or isn't botched to hell, I don't mind it. There's things called character development and artistic interpretation. Back in those days, nearly everything was heteronormative by nature, or to some degree, prioritized more white actors over others done by someone of a different skin color. What these groups want is to gain acceptance and be treated as human beings like they should, hence the term progressive. A part of that is having fair representation in media. You just prefer everything to stay stagnant and unchallenging. Trust me when I say this, because y'all lie all the time.
Boy, I can't wait till we get that Ren and Stimpy reboot where they're both pansexuals. Is that coming next?
We don't even need a reboot for that. Adult Party cartoon back in 2003 showed them as bisexual. Besides, the chances of a reboot happening of the series are slim to none thanks to its creator, John K's infamy, and tarnished reputation. Not to mention there isn't that big of a demand for it to return at all.
How about a Rugrats reboot? You can introduce a new character into that series, draw him up like Patton Oswalt, push that absolutely crazy logic of love at any age. I think you can see where I'm going with this.
It really bothers me how ignorant reactionaries are with this whole concept. The obvious lie that the mainstream proponents of the LGBT are all pedophiles irritates me. Every medium out there will have its sneaky little tricks that do truly disgusting acts, and honestly, if it weren't for the Me Too movement, this problem would have been left unchecked even longer. But I get it, we're talking about kitty fiddlers here. If there is one thing I'll give cancel culture credit for, it's recognizing how big of a problem pedophiles and zoophiles are as of late. We should agree that neither deserve a platform. Guess what that means? The current president doesn't deserve one because he's been sexually manipulative and is, from what we understand, a pedophile. Whenever you complain about the love is love idea, I can tell you're doing it in bad faith. I'm more angry that both sides are eager to just defend their politically elect pundits from any scrutiny they receive. Seriously, this is a really big bipartisan issue. Oh, and they wouldn't even be able to get away with that kind of message. No sane person thinks that being a pedo should be a respected sexual orientation. And I know you all like to bring up the LGBTP thing because you actually think that's genuine.
I'm sure that blue-haired crowd over there would absolutely love that. Oh, it's so progressive. Oh man, these people are sick.
There's a difference between generalizing progressives versus conservatives. There are a whole lot of different layers and kinds of progressives out there. They're not exactly a collective like the other. So yeah, making generalizations about conservatives, if true, is fine in my eyes. You all tend to be hard to differentiate the beliefs for, because you very rarely deviate.
So anyway, let's jump over to Bounding into Comics. They've got an interesting article here. Netflix's Rocko's Modern Life special will reintroduce character as transgender. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, series creator Joe Murray confirmed that the character of Ralph, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Bighead from the original show, will have a major trans arc and will now be referred to as Rachel.
Okay, I admit the article is stretching somewhat by saying the arc is major. As said, I can't exactly prove this wrong or right, but I've heard that the special doesn't make a big deal out of things with Rachel. In my eyes, they're saying it is because they want people who really care about this sort of thing hyped. There's nothing wrong with that in a consumer society.
Here's a quote from Murray here. Quote, when I started writing Static Cling, I really started latching onto the idea of change, how society has changed and what's gone on in the last 20 years, and the development of our characters and how they would react to change. It felt natural because it was not only about change, about somebody finding who they are and making that courageous choice to go through with that change.
So look, this is a lie. There's no way that this dude was sitting around, he was sitting there going, you know what, man, I really want to get back into that Rocko's Modern Life game. Let's see, what's a good story? What's a good story for me to get this rebooted? Oh, I know. Let's make a whole gigantic trans arc. We'll center it around a transgendered neighbor. That'll be great. That'll really pull in the audience. That's not at all what happened. This dude wanted to reboot this series. This dude wanted a job again, and so he went to Netflix, and the Netflix executive said, hey, you need to shove pride into this. You need some gay characters, you need some trans characters, you need some diversity and inclusivity in this new series, or we're not going to let it go forward. That's clearly how this went down.
How dense do you have to be to deny that it was Joe Murray's decision to transition Ralph into Rachel, you absolute fucking chud? That series of points is just board-bending. For starters, this special had little to no involvement from Netflix outside of distribution. The special was already complete before Nickelodeon decided to dump it over there. One reason people speculate why this didn't get the TV treatment was because of the Hey Arnold Jungle movie's poor performance when it was airing. The trans arc potentially also made it hard for the network to choose if they wanted to air it or not. Secondly, Joe Murray has said in multiple interviews that he felt like including this arc into the show, unrelated to the network. And considering the show literally has modern life in the title, it's a no-shit decision that they talk about some current subjects. Thirdly, the original 90s show wasn't afraid to throw in some progressive views here and there. Closet Clown uses the analogy of coming out of the closet, which the creator admitted was a subtle way of coming out, well, queer in this case. There was also that one episode titled Kiss Me I'm Foreign, where Rocko was about to be deported back to Australia. He ended up fake marrying Filbert because he had no other choice. My god, is that very topical right now. In fact, it is said that Rachel was originally supposed to be trans in the original show. Of course, in 1994, this was a taboo topic, so that never went through. What I'm saying is, Rocko seems like a reasonable show for this thematic element to be placed in. Finally, just believing Netflix is behind this decision just because progressive themes are included frequently on its service is ludicrous and closed-minded. Correlation doesn't equal causation. We'll get into that next.
I mean, look at the entire lineup for Netflix. It's gay this, trans that, flip this character this color, change this character's sexual orientation. I mean, Jesus Christ, they've got the Obamas on Netflix.
Yeah, I do admit sometimes representation is crammed in out of the sake of appealing to more people. Also not a fan of how big of a political influence Netflix has on the market, if we're being honest here. We could go on all day about how common it is for minority groups to be badly represented in the media. In reality, the root cause for this sort of problem is more late-stage capitalism than anything. As we know, the entertainment industry wants to reel in as much dough as they can from established properties, because they're bound to sell. Including more progressive themes also makes super liberal audiences want to view that media. But you would never call out the system, wouldn't you? That would make you a disgrace to your crony capitalist buddies, huh?